Greetings, traveler. I am Sir Nox, the teller of tales. Would you like to hear one? Well, this one is called The 40-Year-Old Horror Story That Backfired Spectacularly. Can't wait to hear. Hi all. Here's the awful tale of my very first D&D session. The kind that can sour a TTRPG newbie for life, and too often does. But in my case, it blew up in that guy's face. August of 1980, a D&D first edition. You know, the age of Gigaxian dinosaurs. Drop by my best friend's place that fateful afternoon, see a couple of my tiny handful of nerd friends at the kitchen table. A pile of stranger hardcover books and random folders scattered about. And dice. Lots and lots of dice. They are dice, right? Screwy looking things. So Pete, the DM, gives me the Cliff Notes version of what D&D is. And since they have a spare minute, Pete agrees to help me draw up a bare-bones fighter to get a feel for the game. Fred pulls a pre-rolled thief out of a folder, so I'm not going in alone. Pete is winging a quick and dirty demo dungeon for me, but it's clear I'm already hooked. Goodness, this is so cool! I'm thinking to myself. We open one door and we're faced to slime with a Galantius cube. We're level 1. I have no effing clue what I'm looking at, but Fred does, and in classic that guy fashion, he shoves me inside and slams the door behind me. In retrospect, Pete was obviously pulling punches, and I managed to stagger out with 1 or 2 HP left. There's a door on the opposite side of the room, and there's Fred, who glibly gave me a spiel. I was just coming around to the back door so we could surround it. Yeah, right, jerk. And pray tell how you knew how to find it in an unmapped dungeon. But here's where the backfire comes into play. I set aside my irritation and focused on how much fun the game itself was. I came back. Within a year, I was DMing. 2 years after that, I started my first real campaign. The first of 18 over the next 4 decades, 2 states and 5 gaming groups. Sorry, Fred, you're not getting rid of me that easily. Once you get the bug, it's hard to turn away. It's a very fun game regardless of how many shenanigans people try to put you into to ruin it. Good for you to continue on. That is a long time playing. Our next tale is called The Star Wars DM Who Knew Nothing About Star Wars. Oh, gee! Note. This story took place 2 years ago, so I do not remember every detail of what happened, but the main details remain the same. Oh, I'm sure it doesn't matter, even a little bit of fiction is still fun. I'm a big Star Wars fan and have always wanted to play in a Star Wars TTRPG, so naturally, when I saw an ad for a Star Wars 5th edition game looking for players in a D&D Discord server, I'm in. I immediately jump at the chance to join. The DM accepted me along with 4 other people, and we all joined his server for the game. The DM quickly let us know that this was both his first time DMing and that he isn't an expert on Star Wars lore. Neither of these things were red flags. Some Star Wars fans can definitely be jerks about people not knowing everything and act like gatekeepers about it. And I understood he definitely was looking to avoid that experience. I told him not to worry about it because everyone starts somewhere and I'm not an expert on Star Wars lore either. One of the other players said that he was, though, and immediately offered to help the DM with any lore questions. We determined a starting date for our first session about 2 weeks later, and started building our characters. They were all pretty basic since we didn't want to overwhelm a new DM with a bunch of detailed backstories. My character was a Twi'lek bounty hunter, but you'll soon see why I don't remember what characters anyone else played. The first session starts with the DM scrambling to get ready. You're all on a ship. I don't have a map of a ship ready. Let me try to find one. We chat a bit about our favorite Star Wars characters, movies, etc. as we wait. It's taking him a while, so one of the players says, I'm DMing a Traveler campaign right now. Do you want one of my ship maps? The DM accepts gratefully and loads the map up into Roll20. The DM makes no attempt to set the scene other than, you're all on a ship. None of us have any time to describe our characters or introduce them to each other. We don't know our relationship with each other, and even why we're on the ship in the first place. Instead, he jumps right into the action with, an enemy ship starts firing at you, and it blasts a hole in the side of the ship. One of the characters was standing very close to where this happened, and the DM had her roll a dex save to see if she could stay on the ship. She fails and gets pulled out into space. Another character, who I assume was a Jedi, attempts to pull her back in using some sort of force power, but also fails. and also has to roll to see if he stays on the ship as well, and he fails too, and the rest of us have nothing we can do about it. That's ridiculous. The TM, realizing that he accidentally killed 2 of the PCs in the first few minutes of the game, says, never mind, I'll retcon that. The blast doesn't rip a hole in the side of the ship, but it does damage it enough that your ship is now crashing towards a planet. Do we know what planets are nearby? I ask him. Yeah, Tatooine, he says. Yes, he pronounces it as Tatooine, not Tatooine. And between this and not having a ship map ready, I figure that the DM both knows extremely little about Star Wars and also did not prepare anything at all for the session. You mean Tatooine? Someone asks. I said I wasn't a lore expert, the DM replies, starting to get frustrated. At this point, 2 of the players just decide to leave. They exit the voice chat and quit the server, saying very little on their way out. Though this wasn't an enjoyable experience for me at all, I was at least planning on sticking around all the way through the first session because I didn't want to be rude or hurt the DM's feelings. There's some awkward silence in the chat, and the DM just decides to cancel the campaign. He leaves the voice chat along with 1 other player, leaving just me and another guy in there. The 2 of us discussed for a while how weird the whole thing was, and also how we kind of felt bad for the DM. Yeah, he did an absolute terrible job running the game, but everyone starts somewhere, and we were both feeling some extreme second-hand embarrassment for him. After all this, I really hope that this one bad experience doesn't scare the DM off from any future DMing attempts. He obviously was not ready, and it baffles me as to why he would choose to run a Star Wars game when he knew basically nothing about the setting. But I felt bad for the guy, and hopefully he can learn from the experience. Some good did come out of this story, though. I kept in touch with the other guy who stuck around and chat after the game, and he ended up inviting me to the game he DM'd. Well, it all worked out. I think if you're looking for something that, I guess it's not that niche, right? Star Wars is very popular. Dungeons & Dragons is very popular, so I don't understand how it would be hard to find a Star Wars-themed D&D game. But yes, obviously that DM was not prepared. But, you know, if they're not prepared, they shouldn't DM anyways. But maybe they learned that, obviously. But I don't think, what a weird experience. Yes, when 2 players are killed instantaneously, that's a bad start. But at least he was willing to retcon it and try again. Anyways, hopefully your future experiences are better. Our next tale is called, You Know Something is Serious When Someone Pulls Out Their Gaming Credentials. Oh boy, this should be fun. This is going to be more of the absurd side rather than the horror, but here we go. I'm ready. I'm part of a huge Discord server that is all about TTRPGs. A hard-to-find games of sorts. It's so big that it's not uncommon for ads for campaigns there to be filled with in an hour or so. Now, as per usual, the mods there have the tendency of being assholes because they can. This is where the person who I am referring to as the title comes from. Let's call her Tamara. Fake name, obviously. I am starting to dip my feet in the DM's shoes after years of being a player. It's a bit harder than it appeared to be, but I have fantastic players that even if I screw up the intricacies of the hobbies such as combat and balancing issues, they more than enjoy the campaigns I DM. Heck, one of them even writes a diary in character. It's their fancy way of keeping notes. Also, memes galore in regards to the occurrences. One of these slip-ups happened when I made an enemy encounter at sea. I accidentally spawned in too many enemies at a time and noticed the turns would take forever to roll. So at the moment, I decided to spawn in a huge sea creature to scare the enemies off. At the top of my head, I spawned a kraken. The party's objective was to keep the kraken at bay by any means necessary until they've reached shallow waters a few miles turns from there. Now, when I told this tale to the server, as you know people usually do, I described as one player was slapped off deck into the ocean by one of its attacks as collateral damage. Tamara then proceeded to ask, "Please tell me you killed the character." No. "Then you're garbage as a DM." She then proceeded to list a bunch of reasons as to why this whole situation should be a TPK. And that I did the encounter wrong because of the Kraken's divine status and that its intelligence is higher than the whole party combined, so I shouldn't be playing it as an irrational animal. Even when I said the setting of my campaign has different rules and that my games are of a more casual and character-driven one, she doubled down and added later, "It's thanks to stupid DMs like you that we, Not stupid DMs, get stupid players at our tables who think they can take on a Tarrasque or Ancient Dragon at level 1, or that can't even roll HP gains for every level up, and a whole lot of nothings I can't bother to remember. This was where it would be left, but the thing about one of my campaigns is that I'm doing a system of my own based off of Fire Emblem. It's honestly a hot mess, but hey, my players are having fun with it and the story so far. However, due to being a homemade system, it's open to exploits, and in this campaign I'm dealing with a min-maxer for the first time. The player is great, but part of me fears that due to him stomping a lot of rolls, may intimidate the players, and went to the server to ask the DMs there how to deal with this. Well, I received some nice tips, like using situations where his min was key to success, or have a specific type of enemy to him, alongside systems that better accommodate my vision for the campaign. Tamara wasn't so helpful. Here are the insights of her responses when I presented my problems.
You don't do a living world. Then no wonder you're having this sort of problem.
Without telling me about how better to do this living world.
Who told you to make your own system? You deserve everything bad happening to your table.
The only thing moderation there hates more than handmade systems is Orem Paranormal.
Again, it's thanks to stupid DMs like you that we have to deal with stupid players.
After that, I kind of snapped and told her to shove it, because I play my games to have fun, to help others have fun, that she was taking TTRPGs too seriously. After that, the unexpected happened. She, no joke, pulled off her gaming credentials to justify why she takes it seriously, like her participating and giving 50 speeches when it comes to TTRPGs. She's studying tabletop design, being a professional narrator and cartographer, etc., etc. I just said this doesn't justify her taking this too seriously, and act like her way of playing is the right way to play it. And the second response arrived.
Yes, dear. I take it seriously because this is my job, and I have a reputation to live up. Only for me to see stupid and freaking stupider people like you to remind me that this gen is making TTRPGs worse by the day. Everything that is consumed is garbage. Everything that is created is garbage, and then people like you come thinking I don't have fun with something serious. There's no more autistic, stupid people out of touch argument than RPGs are meant to be fun. When your group kills dragons like goblins, and the players think that this is normal and impose that on the other games. Playing zoos instead of actual deep characters and a bunch of wannabe anime heroes. I take it seriously because I want the Brazilian TTRPG scenario to grow and not go down the drain with cocksuckers of D&D 5th edition. Jambo. RPG system publishers and Cellbit, YouTuber who created Orem Paranormal.
Note, I have autism. Everyone on the server, including Tamara, knows I have autism, so she using stupid and autistic as offenses to my argument was deliberate. After this whole manifesto dump and her fuming, I decided to take a step back and leave it at that. Didn't want to risk getting a ban and not be able to play my future Fist of the North Star and other campaigns with fellow Brazilians. I'm already kind of not interacting there, mostly just posting some stuff to avoid being banned for being a ghost member. I don't know how to end this tale other than I am a firm believer of the saying I once heard. The only bad way to play D&D, or TTRPGs in general, is when the players and DM aren't having fun. So have fun in your games, folks. We have an update. Oh, jolly. Let's find out. Update. So I'm adding this edit for a small update. So thanks for some encouragement from here. I reported to Mara for the ADM of the server. Let's call him Trevor. Another fake name. Duh. So the server has a report channel and I showed the screenshots of the offenses in question. His response was, "With all due respect, it's complicated to send a I have autism so you can't say the use of autistic as an offense. Other than that, we can see she's gone over the line, but just the prints of her offense doesn't show the full context. Well, it's up to her to defend herself, and if further prints showing her innocence are shown, I'll remove the warn." Ignoring Trevor downplaying and dismissing the usage of autistic as a direct offense to me, he at least indeed gave Tamara a warn that may progress into a ban. How Tamara responded?
As I said, presumably in Trevor's DMs, this happened a while ago, but I don't recall the full context. That was omitted on the screenshots because it's the most convenient to him because it didn't occur today or in this server.
Context. This server is the second version of itself. The original was mysteriously set to deletion and everyone was asked to migrate to a new server. Due to that, I have nothing to say at the moment. Well, little did Trevor and Tamara know that I have the full convo of the given discussions. I only put the offenses on my report because of Discord image send limit. I showed all the context to Trevor in his DMs, so there is no way for him to undo the warn, and did a light scolding of not being up to him to decide what's offensive or not to people on the spectrum. And I would show Tamara the full context and call her to take accountability for her offenses, if she didn't block me. Well, I'll take that as a W, thank you very much. And after my report, a few members came to my DMs to either thank or congratulate me to take a stance against Tamara. So I have the feeling that she might receive some extra warnings in the future. To end this once and for all, thanks everyone for the support and encouragement, and thanks for D&D Doge in advance for covering the story. You rock, dude. My name is Sir Nox, not D&D Doge. It's okay, I understand I am a nobody in the YouTube land, but hopefully will become somebody one day. Someone grand and rememberable. But until that day, yes, obviously being on Reddit or Discord with mods, and it's just, they can be nightmares. Sometimes they take their opportunity to have a sliver of power to just be the highlight of their life, and unfortunately they use it for bad, not good, to somehow oppress others. But hey, it's just an online community. If you can play by the rules and squeeze on by, at least you can get all the benefit and fun out of it, as you've figured out how to do yourself.